Never rely on any form of weight loss supplement, any form of weight loss pills. If you are someone that's considering taking Ozempic, I'm going to show you how our body naturally manufactures Ozempic. So you can save yourself thousands and thousands of dollars just by watching this video. So make sure you guys tap in and lock in. I'm going to give you guys the sauce. I am going to break this down for you. And when I break it down, you're going to have your aha moment. Now, let's talk first about Ozempic. What is Ozempic? So Ozempic is a weight loss supplement, or a weight loss pill, I should say, that mimics a hormone called GLP-1. Now, what is GLP-1? GLP-1 is a hormone that actually helps regulate your insulin levels and your blood sugar levels. This exact hormone helps you feel full longer, so you eat less, you burn more calories. This is exactly what Ozempic is trying to mimic. But the thing is, we naturally manufacture this hormone, but there is a lot of blockages that is blocking us from actually manufacturing this hormone called GLP-1. So I'm going to explain to you guys how to actually activate the GLP-1, and it's going to blow your mind. But first, I want to talk about insulin. Insulin is very important when it comes to your hunger, but also when it comes to breaking down energy. This is very important because what is energy? Energy is essentially motion in our body. That's how our body gets fuel. I always say this, we don't crave food, we crave energy. So if you have stored energy in the body, that is just stored calories in the body, which is essentially stored waste, which is stored weight in the body. So stored energy in the body is just stored weight in the body. So let's talk about insulin. What is insulin? So insulin is a hormone that gets produced by the pancreas. And what insulin does, it converts sugar into energy, okay? So a lot of people say sugar and they think bad, okay? Sugar is not bad. So when we talk about prediabetes or type 1 or type 2 diabetes, we think sugar is the cause of diabetes. We think if we eat too much sugar, we're going to get diabetes. Now, that is true, but this is what they're not telling you. Sugar is not the issue because sugar is energy. We need sugar so we can convert that into glucose, which is energy. The problem is that when you're eating too much complex sugars, too much fatty foods. So let's take your standard American diet. You're having a hamburger, you're having your fries, your Sprites. Those are not simple sugars. Not one of these three things can be identified as simple sugar. They're all complex sugars, a bunch of fatty carbs, complex carbs, a lot of fat, protein. These are not simple sugars. So it takes more energy out of the body to break this down. And what happens is that insulin wants to convert simple sugars like fructose, monosaccharides, and then I'll give glucose a pass, but insulin wants to convert simple sugars into energy because that's going to give you energy, right? Simple sugars yield the most energy. But when we have complex food, insulin gets confused because insulin is not used to breaking down heavy foods, okay? It's not used to breaking down heavy foods. I'm going to erase that, okay? So when insulin has to break down your standard American diet, the hamburgers, the cheese fries, the milkshakes, insulin is like, okay, I'm not used to it. And then that's when you become insulin resistant because the pancreas is like, okay, insulin, I want to produce more of you, but this is something that you cannot break down. You're not used to it. So I'm going to say, sit this one out, insulin. And that's where the resistance comes from. Because remember, type 1 diabetes is actually an autoimmune disease. What does autoimmune mean? Auto means it's running on autopilot. You don't have to think about it. Immune means what you are used to. So if you're used to eating a standard American diet, okay, that's what you're immune to, which is complex sugars, complex carbs, complex fats, proteins that are not simple sugars. Insulin is going to say, hey, I am not needed. And then that's when you become resistant to insulin. And then that's when you have a bunch of sugars in your bloodstream. So a bunch of glucose in your bloodstream not being utilized into energy. That is why when you have prediabetes or you're diabetic, you tend to gain weight. Remember what I said. Energy in the body, when it's stored, is just stored calories, which is stored fat. So I just broke down diabetes, essentially. And how to cure this is going back to your simple sugars. Remember when I said sugar is not the issue, it's the added sugar. It's the complex foods that you're eating. It's these heavy processed foods that you're eating. Remember when I say processed food is food that's already went through its own metabolic process, okay? So think of like potato chips. It's already gotten broken down. It's already fried and added with all these grease. It already went through its own metabolic process. Sorry guys, I'm getting a little hype in here. Okay. Yeah, it already went through its own metabolic process. So that's why it's so important to have your simple sugars, your monosaccharides, and your fructose from fruits. So that's another thing. Okay, now let's talk about GLP-1, because I do know that Ozempic does help with diabetes, but this is the key here. You want your fruits, but you want your bitter fruits, because GLP-1 actually, because GLP-1 gets activated with bitters. So you need your bitter fruits, your bitter foods, and your bitter drinks. GLP-1 loves the bitters. Remember, your digestive system starts in the tongue. As soon as the bitters touch the tongue, it signals to your pancreas to regulate insulin and blood sugar levels. So bitters is what you need if you're diabetic or in that family. You need your bitters, okay? Another thing as well, when you take in bitters, so when you ingest bitters, it also signals to the intestines, because remember, your whole digestive system, all the organs, they have their own taste buds. So your intestines have taste buds. So as soon as the bitters reach the intestines, it kickstarts a colon cleanse. Also, bitters help regulate the bad gut bacteria in your gut, all the bad gut bacteria and viruses. Remember, viruses are very smart. So viruses, what they want to do, because they are living organisms, okay? We are bacteria. Bacteria is simply just a living organism that can be good or bad. But with the bad gut bacteria, what it does is that it's so smart, it wants to survive and multiply. Okay? So bitters actually help get rid of the bad gut bacteria. Because what bad gut bacteria does in your body is basically it builds up yeast and candida. So if you're someone that is craving the wheat, the gluten, the processed sugar, the junk food, chances are you have the overgrowth of yeast and candida. So bitters will help with that. This is the key, you guys. You need your bitters. People say, oh, it's disgusting, it's nasty. Okay, so keep eating the McDonald's, keep eating the Fruit Loops, but the bitters, you need the bitters to activate the GLP-1. This is important for weight loss and also for cleansing. Basically, weight loss is just detoxing and cleansing out waste. That's literally all it is. And keeping off the weight is basically activating this hormone, because it's going to help regulate blood sugar levels, which is great because you won't overeat. But also with the bitters, you're getting rid of that need for junk food. And then you're also staying fuller longer, so you burn more calories, you burn more energy. Okay? So here are the 3 best herbs to take to help with promoting more GLP-1. First one is wormwood. Now, wormwood is my favorite because it's the most potent. So with wormwood, you want to take this as a tea. You want to brew it, but you want to have it cold because it is very, very bitter. 10 out of 10 bitter. It's the most bitterest herb I've ever taken in my life. And I love bitters. It's bitter. But when you take it cold, it has long-lasting effects. So you brew it as a tea, and you can take it cold. Wormwood is perfect to take morning and night between 11 a.m. and then between 7 p.m. Those are the sweet spots. And in order for these to work, you guys, you want to take these herbs for at least 21 days to see visible results. Wormwood. Number 2, ginger root. You can do a lot with ginger root, preferably a tea, or you can add it into your food. 3, this is a vegetable, but watercress, very bitter, but it's amazing to have for salads, and it's great for parasite cleansing, but also activating that GLP-1. Another one is black seed. Black seed is amazing. Okay, I don't recommend black seed oil because oil is highly processed as well. It goes through a long process just to turn into oil. And not only that, oil is very inflammatory. So black seed, just as it is amazing as a tea, or you can crush it up and make it into a seasoning. Another great one as well is your parsley and cilantro. You can definitely make a salad with all of these things. Okay, and then lastly, your citrus fruits. I don't know if that's right, but you get it. Like your lemons, your limes, your grapefruit. Okay. Also, if you are pre-diabetic and are on the diabetes family, so type 1 or type 2, you definitely do not want to have sweet fruits. So your bananas, your pineapple, your mangoes, you definitely want to stay away from those sweet fruits, yes, because it has a tendency to raise insulin levels, especially if you're juicing them. So that's why I always say if you're pre-diabetic or in the diabetes family, always eat your fruits solid. Solid, solid, solid. Okay? Fruits are still good, but making sure that you have it at the right time. So you don't want to have fruits late at night or before you end your eating schedule. So you don't want to have fruits for dinner. You don't want to have sweet things for dinner. You want to stop that completely at dinner time. Okay, so this is the list. Screenshot it, make sure you take some notes, but this is the protocol that you need to take, especially if you want to lose weight and keep it off and stay healthy. This is what they don't want to tell you, and this is exactly what you need. You do not need to spend money on Ozempic. Okay, guys, I love you guys. Make sure you guys subscribe for more, and if you guys want more of this and how to actually implement this into your lifestyle and implement these tips, I offer one-on-ones and I have a weight loss blueprint. If you guys want to get in contact with me, definitely comment down below, heal, and I'll reach out to you and we'll kickstart your healing journey for 2025. Thank you.